Welcome back, everyone. It is day one of the teacher strike, and we have been hearing a lot about how our schools need money. And it is easy to lose sight of why those dollars are so important.
But tonight, our CBS 5 investigation shows us how years of cost cutting is putting our children in real danger on their way to and from school. Here's Chief Investigative Reporter Morgan Lowe. Morgan?
As seen in Chris, school buses carry the most precious cargo there is, but we found school districts across the state using old buses with emergency exits tied shut, bad brakes, leaking gasoline, and worse.
A train hit a school bus. I'm sorry, you said a train hit a school bus?
It was November 5th, 2015, and a Maricopa Unified School District bus was crumpled on the side of the road.
It's a school bus now. Okay, so listen to me. Can you tell if there's anybody in the vehicle still?
This interior video shows how just moments before, the bus had stalled on the tracks of a railroad crossing. The bus driver called dispatch for help. She gets out of the bus and runs before the video goes black.
This train is going full speed.
The investigation later showed that the bus's check engine light had been on for a year. Our CBS 5 investigation found that as school budgets have been slashed, expenses like school bus maintenance have fallen by the wayside. We looked through 5 years of school bus inspection data and found hundreds of buses that should not have been on the road. The problem affects districts all across the state. We found bad tires, bad brakes, inoperable emergency exits, exhaust leaks, leaking fuel tanks and leaking fuel lines, even gas tanks that were coming loose. Basic maintenance issues that could have been life-threatening.
The school districts are being starved of the money they need.
Danny Edelman represents schools in a lawsuit against the state over funding. He says it's not really the school districts that are to blame here because the budgets for things like school buses were slashed years ago and never fully restored.
If you give somebody that has $1,000 worth of needs $100 and say, hey, spend it however you want, and then you try to blame the person that you gave $100 to for not spending it in a certain way, it's pretty disingenuous.
School buses are considered the safest form of transportation there is, but the state's fleet is aging fast. This bus in the Cartwright district is 20 years old and still transports students. The district's mechanics stay busy keeping the buses running. Cartwright has a perfect inspection record, but it's tough to keep good employees here.
The only reason our people stay here is because they love our district.
Transportation Director Clementina Salinas says she needs more money for higher salaries and newer buses. And across the state, she's not alone.
When you talk to your counterparts at districts across the state, what do you hear from them?
They're poor. They're hurting.
We found examples where school districts were using buses that DPS road because of safety problems. And these are expensive problems to fix. A Bluebird with air conditioning can run $50,000, and a small district can have 30 of them. Seen?
All right, thank you, Morgan.